If your strategy is so mechanical that you can get real, legitimate, concrete data, that means you're just doing the job of an indicator. Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. 99% of traders will never make consistent profits. So why listen to the 99% of advice? On this show, we're going to challenge some of the most hallowed and repeated tenets of trading, and in doing so, set you up to succeed where others fail. Spoiler alert, we don't have a secret strategy or magic wand that will let you skip out on the hard work of learning the markets, but we can debunk viewpoints that are holding you back. If that sounds good to you, come join us. Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. Today, our episode is on backtesting. This is talked about and preached as really important by pretty much everybody, and we have some fairly hot takes, so we might get flamed on this. But backtesting, first off, is seen, it's preached as kind of gospel. Really important. You got to go back and test your strategy. You got to go back and practice it, see how well it is before you try it out on the real market. In our estimation, it's completely overrated, and we're going to attempt to back up that claim today in this podcast. Jordan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. And yeah, you're absolutely right. So if anyone asks me, I'll be honest. If you ask me, Jordan, have you back tested your strategy? I would be honest. I have not done one iota of back testing on my strategy that I'm currently trading and have been trading for the last while, right? Like I have not done a lick of it. And we can get a little bit into why of that moving forward. But yeah, it's not something that I feel that matters. And actually, I think it's something that can actually harm beginner traders because it can give them a sense of confidence in their trading when maybe that confidence is not yet warranted.
Yeah. So we have two kind of main points to make as far as back testing is concerned. And the first one I'll start with is that back testing is by definition paper trading. We've talked about this before, but paper trading is also overrated. It removes all of the psychology away from your trading, and so it's back testing. When you go back and test on past markets, there's absolutely no skin in the game. So anybody who's paper traded before knows that your success in paper trading has almost zero parallels to your success trading in the real market. And so anytime you go spend a significant amount of time trading in the past, you're just wasting time when you could be trading in the present with real stakes and actually trading your making your psychology work with the market, putting it under your thumb and under discipline. On top of that, it's paper trading, but it's actually worse than paper trading.
Well, it's paper trading that can be manipulated and paper trading that can make you feel
Yeah.
like a god. Essentially, it's
Yeah.
paper trading that you already know what happened, right? So it's essentially it can be manipulated by your brain and essentially can create confirmation bias, right? I'm assuming that's where you're going because essentially you go into your charts and like we've all had this, right? We all see this on YouTube, right? Which is so irritating to me. Like, so you're watching somebody and the guy is like, based off of A plus B plus C plus the alignment of the stars, I took this trade here and then click. And then here's how my trade went. And you're like,
Amazing.
incredible.
Yeah. It's paper trading with confirmation bias. So it's like the worst of both worlds. So as much as you think it's being useful, and confirmation bias is really hard to see in yourself, if not impossible. And so you've just paper traded, added confirmation bias on top of it because you know what's already going to happen, and then thinking that's going to be useful. So that's my first main point. It's paper trading, doesn't get the psychology involved, and it adds confirmation bias on top of paper trading. So it's not even paper trading in the current market or paper trading for the future. It's paper trading in the past. So that's my first point. And one thing that I think by itself makes back testing almost useless. Hey everyone, Levi here to quickly ask if you're finding value in the podcast. We would love it if you'd take a moment to follow the show and leave a review. It helps us out a lot and enables us to bring you the best possible content. Thanks for being part of the community. We love you guys.
Yeah, I completely agree. And a kind of a funny story. I was actually talking to a friend last night and showing him a few of my trades. And I pulled up a chart because I was trying to show him a little bit about how I traded, and I was just given a little bit of a I would say intro session to what I kind of do, just because he was interested. And I was going through it, and I was looking at this chart, and I had to be very upfront. I was like, listen, I'm going to show you where I would have taken these trades, but it's like I recognize that. Listen, I can look at this chart and I can feel like I would have had 100% win rate over the last 5 days looking at this chart and showing you where I would trade, because honestly, it's easy. It's so easy. And the reason why, and I think what we also feel, you have confirmation bias, but the other reason why it's super easy because there's no psychology involved. You're not having to go, oh, what's going to happen? You already know what's going to happen. Right. So the
Right.
psychology, there's zero psychology involved, even less so than like maybe paper trading, but you don't, like, say you're paper trading live. You don't know what's going to happen next, but paper trading, you already know. So like there's no feelings whatsoever. You're like, yeah, that's a winner. That's a winner. That's a winner. Oh, that was loser.
Yeah.
I already knew that. And so it also removes any psychology whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The second point, so that's the first point. Paper trade, it's essentially paper trading, but paper trading with confirmation bias on top of it. The second point is just as damning to backtesting, which is if your strategy is mechanical enough to be tested to get real data from backtesting with concrete data, that means you're trading like an algorithm, which means that's not a long-term strategy that's going to work. Okay. So this goes to all the people who make indicators. They sell the indicator, they show 6 months of back testing. Amazing. What they did was they tweaked a couple settings on the exponential average and whatever the hell else they're using to make that magic indicator. And they tweaked it until they got a big win rate. Right. And that's what you're doing when you're back testing. That doesn't mean just because they had 6 months of good data doesn't mean that was good back testing. If your strategy is so mechanical that you can get real, legitimate, concrete data, that means you're just doing the job of an indicator that somebody sells for $20 to poor newbies who don't know any better. And it, like we've talked about before in our indicator episode, it's not a long-term winning strategy. It just
Or
won't
even
work.
worse, an expert advisor that costs $1,000. True story.
Sure. Yeah, that also happened. We've been ticked off at some people in the trading world who've started selling those things for $1,000. Yeah, but if your back testing is able to get quantifiable data, it means it's useless anyway. It means your strategy doesn't involve your brain. It doesn't involve feel. It doesn't involve actually learning the market. So in some ironic way, if you're able to correctly backtest, it means your strategy isn't long-term profitable. If you're unable to get quantifiable data on your backtesting, that means feel is involved, but then you get into the area where it's just paper trading and it's got confirmation bias. So on both ends, it's useless.
Yeah, fully agreed with you. And that is why we highly recommend that you just start trading. That means you start if you're a brand new beginner trader, you log into the chart, your one time frame, and you watch the charts. And you can demo for maybe the first month as you're learning to get an edge and you're learning what you want to do. And then, as we've mentioned, you move over to a prop firm. Move over to some real stakes and you continue to trade so that you're practicing the psychology. Because again, If it was just quantifiable and you could just do A plus B plus C, we could have monkeys doing it more so.
We'd all
I
be
really,
millionaires.
yeah, we could have very intelligent computers doing it, right? And that's just not the case, but we promote putting in the hard work, the hours and hours and years that you're going to need to put in to train your brain. And that's never going to come from back testing. So save those hours, put it into investing in your psychology,